Ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to see you again. I hope you're healthy and doing well. A lot has happened since our last gathering 10 months ago. The uprisings in Egypt, Syria, Yemen, and Tunisia, the attempted assassination of Gabrielle Giffords in Arizona, the Joplin tornadoes, the Mississippi floods, the Texas droughts, and all this as a politically charged and divided American public faces a huge debt, and Israel continues to deal with its unfriendly neighbors. It's unsettling, and at times it's frightening. Yet, somehow, we as Americans, and especially as Jewish Americans, have learned that optimism, hope, and endurance and education is the way forward. We are people hungry for information. We love to analyze, contemplate, ponder, argue, and when necessary, act. Information and education has been the key to our country's survival and our people's survival. And we welcome all those who can open our eyes further, touch our hearts deeper, and offer meaningful and thoughtful perspectives. And that's the mission of this author series. Over the next 10 Thursdays, a wonderful array of scholars and commentators will take us from Palestine to Ethiopia, from the Soviet Union to Cairo, from kosher kitchens to interfaith marriages. Our journey begins tonight with Jennifer Griffin and Greg Meyer and ends in August with Koki and Steve Roberts and Martin Fletcher. I'm confident that over the next 10 weeks, our eyes will be opened and our hearts will be touched. Ladies and gentlemen, if a senior editor from National Public Radio, who previously wrote for the New York Times and graduated from Yale, can marry a Harvard graduate who is currently the national security correspondent for Fox News, then there is hope that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict can be resolved. Folks, it is often said that you get the best information from people on the ground. Well, Greg Meyer and Jennifer Griffin have spent a lot of time on the ground. They have accompanied Israeli soldiers on raids against militant strongholds. They've met with determined settlers on isolated West Bank outposts who have vowed never to relinquish the land. They've delved into the thinking of what motivates some Palestinians to become suicide bombers and others to become spies for Israel. And their courageous journey for answers has raised additional and important questions like, why is extremism so acceptable? Why are public relations often more important than military strength? And can the Israelis and Palestinians ever live side by side in peace? There is a lot more than this addressed in their book, This Burning Land, Lessons from the Front Lines of the Transformed Israeli-Palestinian Conflict. A book that has been described by Sebastian Junger as a stunning piece of nonfiction about the tortured and heartbreaking stalemate in the Middle East. Jeffrey Goldberg says, this burning land is what you get when you unleash two excellent reporters on one of the world's most compelling stories. Folks, Mr. Meyer and Mr. Griffin and Miss Griffin have spent 2 decades chasing wars across Africa, Asia, the former Soviet Union, and the Middle East. So it's a pleasure to welcome them to the relatively peaceful setting of the Hampton Synagogue.